Money is a tool that can be used to build wealth, or it can be used to buy things that don't last long. But have you ever wondered how rich people use their money differently from poor people? You see, if you look around you, you will find many people who spend all their time trying to earn more money. They want to get rich. But there are many other people who always seem to be in financial trouble, no matter how much they earn. They never seem to have enough money because they always spend it.
Ow.
So why do some people end up becoming wealthy while others remain poor despite earning good salaries? Well, today, we are going to share with you 5 things that poor people do with their money. And after watching this video, we hope that you are not doing any of these things. No one. Paying for others. When you are living paycheck to paycheck, it's easy to start paying for your friends. Maybe your friend forgot their wallet at home, so they ask you to pay for their dinner. Perhaps a family member needs to borrow money until their next paycheck comes in. But when you constantly pay for other people, you are essentially giving away your money. And if you keep doing this, you may end up with nothing left for yourself. Of course, there is a difference between helping someone out once in a while and enabling them to avoid their responsibilities by paying for them all the time. If you really care about your friends, then you should advise them to save up for their own purchases instead of paying for them. Otherwise, you could end up spending all your hard-earned money without getting anything back in return. So make sure that you don't get into the habit of paying for everyone else. No. 2. Buying expensive brands. According to statistics, most people spend approximately 18% of their monthly income on brand name clothing. However, research has shown that people who are economically well off spend less than 10% of their income on clothing. In fact, they usually spend far less than those who earn less. Brand names don't necessarily indicate high quality, but rather a high price tag due to clever marketing and consumer psychology. In many cases, generic products offer better value for your money. They might not have the same brand name recognition, but they usually provide the same quality as the big brands at a fraction of the cost. There's no shame in buying generic products. After all, many wealthy people choose to do the same. Instead of wasting your money on expensive brand names, consider investing in quality pieces that will last longer and look better over time. Remember, just because something has a big logo on it doesn't mean it's worth the price. Number 3. Using credit cards. Did you know that only 17% of Americans are credit card users? On the other hand, 42% of adults in the United States don't use credit cards at all. In fact, there is a growing trend among millennials and Gen Zers who prefer debit cards or cash over plastic money. The reason for this is that people have become more aware of the dangers of debt and are trying to avoid it as much as possible. For example, credit card debt is a major problem in America, with almost 40% of adults carrying a credit card balance each month. Furthermore, studies show that people who use credit cards are more likely to spend more money than those who pay with cash or debit. When you pay with plastic, you don't see the money being deducted from your account right away, which can give you a false sense of how much you are spending. Additionally, credit card companies often offer rewards programs such as points or miles, which can tempt people to use their cards even if they don't need anything. These rewards may seem like a great deal, but they can also lead to overspending. So if you want to avoid debt and save money, it's best to leave the credit card at home and stick with cash or debit. No. 4. Spending money on unnecessary things. Have you ever thought about what rich people do differently from poor people when it comes to spending their money? Well, one major difference is that wealthy individuals tend to think twice before making a purchase, especially when it comes to luxury items. They understand the value of their money and don't waste it on unnecessary things. On the other hand, people who are struggling financially are more likely to impulse buy. They may not have the self-control to resist the temptation of a new gadget or a fancy outfit, even if they can't afford it. Studies have shown that people who are broke tend to spend their money on things that make them feel good in the moment, such as fast food or entertainment. However, this type of spending doesn't bring long-term happiness and can end up leaving them with nothing. To avoid this, it's important to develop good financial habits such as creating a budget and sticking to it, saving up for big purchases instead of impulse buying them, thinking about the opportunity cost of spending money on non-essential items. It's by developing these habits, you can take control of your finances and avoid the pitfalls of impulse spending. And finally, no. 5. Not having an emergency fund. Imagine this. You're re-driving to work when suddenly your car breaks down and you have to pay for a tow truck. At that moment, you remember that you haven't been setting aside money for repairs. You try to call your family for help, but they can't assist you financially. Suddenly you realize that you don't have anyone to turn to. Now, picture yourself in another scenario. You've been diligently setting aside $10 a week for emergencies. Then one day your car breaks down and needs to be towed. You take a deep breath, reach into your pocket, and pull out the $400 you've saved for such an event. You pay the tow truck driver and head to the mechanic, without worrying about your financial stability. That's the peace of mind that comes with having an emergency fund. It can help cover unexpected expenses that life throws your way, such as medical bills, car repairs, or job loss. Without an emergency fund, you may have to rely on credit cards or loans to cover these costs, which can put you further into debt and financial stress. Building an emergency fund takes time and discipline, but it's essential for anyone who wants to achieve financial stability. Aim to save at least 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses, and keep this money in a separate savings account that is easily accessible but not subject to frequent spending temptations. By taking this step, you'll be prepared for whatever financial challenges come your way and can rest easy knowing you have a safety net to fall back on. We understand that sometimes it can be difficult to change your habits, especially when it comes to money, but we encourage you to reflect on your spending habits and consider if you're falling into any of these traps. We would love to hear from you, so please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.